man was suddenly stopped by the German soldiers. His heart instantly tightened to the extreme. The next second, a familiar face appeared before him. Moss didn't dare to turn his head, for fear of being recognized by the German lieutenant colonel. Fortunately, the lieutenant colonel only picked up the hat that had fallen to the ground for him. Moss quickly put on the hat, and whispered a thank you. Then he quickly left. As the lieutenant colonel was returning to the camp, he suddenly thought Moss looked familiar. At that moment, he realized, Moss was very likely the resistance member who had previously frozen to death, because he had seen a photo with half of Moss's face. The lieutenant colonel immediately dispatched fighter jets to search for Moss along the direction he had left. The moment the fighter jets appeared, Moss fell into utter despair. He started running quickly, and the jets decisively began firing at Moss. Fortunately, Moss escaped the shots from the jets. He ran desperately forward, while the jets chased relentlessly behind him. Just then, an avalanche suddenly occurred in the snowy mountains. Moss was directly buried by the snow. The jets circled in the sky a few times before turning back, but what they didn't know was, Moss had actually survived. He struggled for a long time before finally crawling out of the thick snow. On the other side, although the lieutenant colonel learned that Moss had been buried by the snow, he still didn't dare to be careless. Being cautious, he immediately sent his men to search for Moss at the avalanche site, but after a thorough search, they only found Moss's backpack and broken skiboard, not his body. The sharp German officer knew Moss must be trying to leave the German-occupied area and head to neutral Sweden, so he sent soldiers to continue pursuing Moss. Meanwhile, the exhausted and cold Moss kept moving forward. In his weakened state, he couldn't even cross a small ditch. He fell into the ditch and struggled to climb out. Under the effect of the cold, his legs instantly turned into blocks of ice. At this point, he was already in a daze, with no feeling left in his body. He could only move his body with great difficulty. The German soldiers arrived at the village Moss was about to reach ahead of him. They conducted a thorough search. Just as they were about to leave after finishing their search, a woman suddenly noticed a figure in the woods, limping towards the village. The woman knew the person in the woods was likely the target the Germans were searching for, but full of hatred for the Germans, she did not speak out. She quietly told her brother what she had seen.